But listen to this line.
My biggest problem isn't this traffic jam, but anger at God and how I lash at man. You say we have innocence, but our biggest problem isn't even being sinned against, but how I respond to the sin, cause how I long for revenge shows I'm just as awful as them. My problem's my pride, I can't see clearly. Hold up, yo, I got this log in my eye.
All things theology, we chop it up properly, without an apology. Gotta get that doxology to God, hallowed be, cause this is how we do it at All Things Theology.
Yo, grace and peace. Welcome back to another episode of All Things Theology, where this is your host, K-Dub, and today we're going to talk about why you're the problem. Oh yeah, you're the problem. Listen in, bring it in. You're the problem and I'm the problem. If you guys don't know, I am a big fan of Christian rap. I love godly songs, and we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about my good friend, Timothy Brindle. He's been on this show featuring Shai, a song called I'm the Problem. And guys, you better get ready. You better get ready because this one's going to convict you. But this is a fire song if you haven't heard of it. We're going to be going back in the vault of CHH and talking about it. So let's hear this, guys. This is a good one.
You see, your primary issue, your primary problem isn't that there are people, isn't that there are advertisements, isn't that there are systems out there that are making you say, no, the problem is you.
Hold up. No. He coming in straight off the rip. Your primary issue, your primary problem isn't that there are people, isn't that there are advertisements, isn't that there are systems out there that are making you sin. The problem is you. This is what Jesus taught. Yes, there could be cultural influences. These are secondary issues, but the heart is the problem, right? This is what Jesus talked about. The eyes being sick, the whole head being sick, the head sick, the whole body will be sick, right? And so we gotta, when it comes to sin, we gotta address the main thing. Oh, I mean, if that ain't nothing though. Wait till you hear the hook, the verse. Let's get into it.
Instead of making excuses and blaming when you sin, face it, the truth is, say, I'm the problem. My heart's sick as a leper. My biggest dilemma's my sin in the center of me. I'm the problem. Yo, I'm stubborn and stiff-necked, loving what's wicked. The judge I don't respect, cause I'm the problem. And it isn't our spouses, though kids are a challenge. The sin it is countless, but I'm the problem.
Hold on, Tim, chill. Instead of making excuses and blaming when you sin, face it, the truth, and say, I'm the problem? Hold on. I can't be I'm the problem. Look, say it with me. I'm the problem. My heart sick as a leper. My biggest dilemma. My sin in the center of me. I'm the problem. Yo, I'm stubborn and stiff-necked, loving what's wicked. The judge I don't respect cause I'm the problem. And it isn't our spouses, though kids are a challenge. The sinning is countless, but I'm the problem. Yo. Oh, Tim, bro. That hook is crazy. Look, that's fire right there. I mean, but that's the reality. All these things are the ultimate, not the problem in your life. We don't like to hear this, but I'm going to keep saying it this video. You're the problem. And I'm pointing that finger right back at me and saying, I'm the problem. Let's get used to it. Let's keep saying it in the chat. I'm the problem, right? Let's keep going.
It can't be solved by modern psychology. And no, our problem is not the economy or stopping the poverty. It's that often we want to be God in our awful autonomy.
Oh, that's fire. That's fire. Look. It can't be solved, that is our sin problem, by modern psychology, right? You got a lot of these self-help problem gurus out here just saying, well, if you just, you do this, you go to these things. No, modern psychology is not going to fix your problem. Jesus always pointed the root back at the heart. You the problem, right? Modern psychology says all these things out there are making you do this. You're the problem. And so it can't be solved by modern psychology. And no, our problem is not the economy or stopping the poverty. So, you don't sin because you lack, right? Let's get this straight. You don't sin because you have more money. The problem is ultimately not your economic status. Again, It's your heart problem. You're the problem. And he goes on to say, it's that often we want to be God in our awful autonomy, right? In our freedom, we want to be God. That is your problem. We want to usurp the creator. It reminds me of Psalm 2, right? We want to break the bonds of the cords of him. No, we can't be God, right? He is God alone. We're the creature. He's the creator. But yeah, let's keep going.
It's not my health or my loss of wealth, but rather that my favorite God is self. My problem's me and my idolatry, and my folly to not see Christ is all I need.
Oh, it's not my health, right? You're not sinning because you got health problems. Ultimately, we're talking about ultimate sins. We know secondary causes, things can contribute, but ultimately, it's not your health or your loss of wealth, right? You made a bad financial decision. You react sinfully. Your ultimate problem isn't your loss of wealth, but rather, listen, you want to know the problem? But rather that my favorite God is self. Oh, that's fire. But it's the truth. It's something we all resonate with. I hope as you're hearing these lyrics, you're like, that hits hard. That hits home. Right? My favorite God is self, and that God needs to be slain. That idol needs to be slain. But Tim takes responsibility. My problems, me and my idolatry and my folly not to see Christ as all I need. Again, we have to take responsibility, have some self-reflective responsibility about our biggest problem. And our biggest problem is our biggest. Hold on, matter of fact. He's about to say our biggest problem. You want to hear it?
My biggest problems, not thinking I'm the biggest problem. We do this thing so often. The heart of the matter is my heart is the matter. God's image in me is more than it's shattered.
That's crazy. My biggest problem is not thinking I'm the biggest problem. That's such a fire line. I love that. Hold on, man. We gotta
let him cook. I said, let him cook.
Yo, my biggest problem's not thinking I'm the biggest problem. Yeah, we're all arrogant. We can be arrogant, self-centered. Oh, of course it's not me, right? My biggest problem is not thinking I'm the biggest problem. We do this thing so often, right? The heart of the matter is the heart is the matter. There's some crazy wordplay in this song too. God's image in me is marred and it's shattered, right? Oh, such a good line.
Biggest problems, not thinking I'm the biggest problem. We do this thing so often. The heart of the matter is my heart is the matter. God's image in me is more than it's shattered.
Now the little sample there is the sin inside of me is the worst of all disease, sampling a song from Braille. Again, this is some shout out to some CHH fans. See, the real one's gonna know. The real one's gonna know. Let's keep going.
Totally jacked up through and through. Yo, when it's whack, cause I'm just doing what humans do. Truthfully, at the root of you is a ruined dude in deep need of one who's able to renew.
Let's stop, Paul. Let's talk about it. Totally jacked up through and through. This is a doctrine called the noetic effect of sin. That sin has not just corrupted the world, but it's actually corrupted the whole being of man, right? The whole body has been tainted, touched by sin. Know that doctrine, the noetic effect of sin, our minds, right? So totally jacked up through and through. Yo, when it's whack, because I'm just doing what humans do, right? Hey, this is a collective problem in all of us, right? Truthfully, at the root of you, it's a ruined dude. He's like, you're staring at a problem, right? I'm the problem and you're staring at one. Oh, that's a good one. In deep need of one who's able to renew. Oh, so there's a glimpse of hope, right? But the reality is we need to confess our problematicness. I'm just making up words. That's how much of a problem we are, right? You got to make up words to describe our problems, right? But in a deep need of one who's able to renew. Let's keep going.
My biggest problem is these wretched cravings and passions and pleasures that test the great king. Is our deepest need education? Or that our whole soul needs complete restoration?
Listen to that. My biggest problem is these wretched cravings. Oh, what we desire is ultimately the problem, right? So these wretched cravings and passions and pleasures that detest the great King. See, God hates these things that go against him, that defile his holy character. When we desire these things, we're defying God. Is our deepest need education, or that our whole soul needs complete restoration? Obviously, the answer is in the question. Our problem is not lack of knowledge. Ultimately, the problem is that with the knowledge we do have, we still sin against God and we need to be restored, right? But listen to this line.
My biggest problem isn't this traffic jam, but anger at God and how I lash at man. You say we have innocence, but our biggest problem isn't even being sinned against, but how I respond to the sin. Cause how I long for revenge shows I'm just as awful as them. My problem's my pride, I can't see clearly. Hold up, yo, I got this log in my eye.
Oh, so good. So good. My biggest problem isn't this traffic jam. I know how y'all get frustrated in that traffic jam, boy. Be one like, get out my way. I'm late for work. I'm late. Move. That's not your biggest problem. Your problem is you are impatient, right? My problem. So my biggest problem isn't this traffic jam, but anger at God and how I lash at man. Oh, this song is so convicting. You say we have innocence, right? Yeah, they say that we're just innocent, but our biggest problem isn't even being sinned against. That's what I said. Your biggest problem, my biggest problem isn't people sinning against me. Right? But how I respond to their sin, how I long for revenge. Oh my goodness, Tim. How I respond actually shows the big problem, right? Shows I'm just as awful as them, right? So when people sin against me and I respond wickedly, I'm demonstrating the problem too. They're showing their problem and I'm showing my problem. We're just two problems meeting together and we got more problems. More sin, more problems. That's how it should go, right? My problem's my pride. I can't see clearly. Hold up, yo. I got this log in my eye, right? I can't address their problem when I'm actually the problem as well. Oh, so good.
Biggest problems, not thinking I'm the biggest problem. We do this thing so often. The heart of the matter is my heart is the matter. God's image in me is more than it's shattered. Instead of pride that leaves you bitter, say, oh God, be merciful to me, a sinner. But once I surrender with my hands up and say I'm the problem, then I'm ready for the answer.
Oh, so fire right there. So this bridge, it does the hook, but it does a bridge that's a little different. It says, instead of pride that leaves you bitter, say, oh God, be merciful to me, a sinner. But once I surrender with my hands up and say I'm the problem, then I'm ready for the answer. This is a biblical theology. This is a biblical point right here, that true repentance, true salvation comes with a confession of the brokenness and reality, right? You might remember the tax collector, right? Where, you remember that passage where he comes to God. He couldn't even lift his head up, right? Be merciful to me, God, a sinner, right? Taken from that passage, right? And so just a good point right here. Yeah. And so what's the answer? Christ crucified. That's actually a sample from a Shai song as well called Christ Crucified. Just a great album. I believe that album was called Christ Crucified. Oh, Solus Christus, matter of fact. I'm a Shai fanatic when it comes to his music, man. And so what's the answer? Christ. So that song is called, that sample here is called Christ Crucified off the Solus Christus album. So, but this is a fire verse. Now that we have the problem, let's get to the solution.
If I'm the problem, Christ is the solution. Praise be to God for his priceless substitution. The mountain is steep indeed, we can't climb it, but God decided to meet our deepest need.
Yo, if I'm the problem, Christ is the solution. I love that. So we got all kind of math going on. What the math is going on? Look, I'm the problem. Christ is the answer, right? Praise be to God for his priceless substitution. Whew, what a line right there. Praise be to God that he stood in the place for these problems. He's the problem. He's the answer. I mean, oh, I'm loving it. The mountain is steep indeed. We can't climb it, but God decided to meet our deepest need. That's a fire line, right? The mountain is high. We can't climb the holy mountain of God. Who can ascend, right? God's holy hill, right? You know that verse? God does. God can. And he decided to come incarnate, intrude into human history, and answer the problem of man. Oh, what a good God we serve, right?
We like to dance around the truth like Alvin Ailey. But God gets down to the roots like Alex Haley. I'm looking outside of myself externally when all the while the fire of hell is burning in me.
Ooh, look at this line. We like to dance around the truth like Alvin Ailey. He's a dancer, right? But God gets down to the roots like Alex Haley. Alex Haley is actually the author of the book, The Roots. And so it's a creative line, right? Play on words here. God gets down to the roots, to the actual problem of man, right? While, other systems, they don't actually address man's problems of man, right? Other systems, the drunkard, right? Hey, stop going to the bar. Well, the actual problem isn't that the bar exists. The problem is this man's heart. And so that's what I love about Christianity. They actually get to the root of the issue. And so, he keeps going on. He says, I'm looking outside of myself externally, kind of like what I'm saying. I'm looking outside of myself externally when all the while the fire of hell is burning in me. Oh, such a fire line, right? The problem ain't them, it's me, right? Let's go.
Sin grievous and heinous deceives us and taints us. It leaves us in pain with lesions, abrasions. Jesus is famous for bleeding with anguish, so we can be stainless with no need to blame shit.
Hold up, Shai. Wait, hold up, bro. Wait, what did you just say? Sin's grievous and heinous deceives us and taints us. It leaves us in pain with lesions and abrasions. Sin will mess you up, right? Sin will mess you up, right? Sin is not a respecter of person, right? Jesus is famous for bleeding with anguish so we can be stainless with no need to blame shift. Oh, bro, that is a fire line. So listen to, look at all this. So sin harms you. Jesus is the remedy for you being harmed. Look, let me explain some of these themes that's coming out of these songs, right? Jesus is famous for bleeding. He took on our pain that sin caused us, right? So we can be stainless with so now that we've been redeemed, purchased, blood bought, we don't need to blame shift. Because Christ bore that for us.
Sincerity whenever we're in error. It's imperative we remember the sin bearer. So if it hurts when you see you're your worst enemy, look to the perfect remedy who took your curse and penalty.
Oh, man. Listen to this. In sincerity whenever we're in error. Be honest when you're wrong. It's imperative, a command, we remember the sin bearer. Look to Jesus. It's great hymns on that. Look to Jesus. Thomas Watson, for one look to self, 10 looks to Christ, right? So if it hurts when you see your worst enemy, yeah, it's painful to recognize the sinfulness that still even dwells in our own hearts, right, believers? Look to the perfect remedy who took your curse and penalty. So does it hurt to look at yourself? Look to Christ. Know that he purchased in parting your iniquity and your problematic self if you truly have come to him by faith. Oh, so good news.
Biggest problems, not thinking I'm the biggest problem. We do this thing so often. The heart of the matter is my heart is the matter. God's image in me is more than it's shattered. But by faith Christ restored our position. We're justified, which means we're more than forgiven. And now Jesus restores our condition, transforming us till conformed in his image.
So again, they did the hook, or Tim did the hook, but then the bridge is actually different on this. He says, but by faith Christ restored our position. We're justified, which means we're more than forgiven. And so Christ hasn't actually just swiped the plate clean. We actually have positive righteousness now. That's good news. And now Jesus restores our condition, transforming us to conform in his image. So, what a great line is this. God didn't just save us. He saved us, and now he's sanctifying us. Oh, so good.
What's the answer? Christ crucified. Christ crucified. Whether you want to accept or believe that or not, you need a heart transplant. You see, that is the root of the problem. We can't do anything with the old man. He must be slain. Do you believe that? The issue is with your heart. And unless you come to Jesus Christ and have new life, that none of your efforts will matter. The hill of beans, that you cannot please God in and of yourself.
Oh, did you guys enjoy that? The outro goes, whether you want to accept it or not, you need a heart transplant. Because we're the root of the problem. Oh, I definitely wanted to do so. Hey, if you guys would like more song reviews, things like this, I like to do stuff like this. I think it's a great video to explain some good Christ-centered lyrics and maybe even some hymns. And oh man, I love this song. I've been reflecting on this song for the last couple days, and it's been a great reminder not to be haughty, not to think I've arrived, and not to think I'm better than I am, but to actually have humility, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm the problem. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Till the next time, grace and peace. Oh, grace and peace. Thank you for watching another episode of All Things Theology. If you enjoyed what you heard today, go on and give me a like. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. I promise to give you weekly lives, videos, interactions, exposing false teachers, sharing with you, the viewer, my theological beliefs, things about the culture, and the Bible. So if you're here for that, come on and join us. Also, if you would like to support this channel financially, you can do so by becoming a Patreon member or a YouTube member. Links are in the description below. You can see content before it drops. You can also have Q&A sessions with also other Patreon members, YouTube members as well. So if you would like that, hit the description link in below.